couple of weeks to go until the election. And on Friday, Australian time, is when the next presidential debate is going to happen. Now, this was supposed to be a debate about foreign policy, but one would think that Joe Biden doesn't want to talk about foreign policy because it may well come up about how his son made an awful lot of money out of the Russians, how his son made an awful lot of money out of the Ukrainians, how his son made an awful lot of money out of the Chinese, and the claims after his laptop was never picked up and opened and went through that his dad was getting a cut of some of that money. So they've decided to change the rules. Firstly, it's not going to be about foreign policy anymore. It will essentially be an echo of the first debate with multiple versions of Trump gotcha questions, including, of course, 9 versions of coronavirus and Black Lives Matter. But also they are going to add a mute button. But it is not one where, thank goodness, the moderator has to sit there and say, you, Mr. President, have gone too far, mute, you, Mr. Biden, are gibbering, mute. Instead, what will happen is that when they are given 2 minutes to talk, the other guy's microphone won't work. And then, when it's their turn to respond, that microphone won't work. When there is a small moment and you get 30 seconds here or 20 seconds there, essentially they will be turning one mic on, one mic off, one mic on, one mic off, because God forbid a debate would break out 2 weeks away from an election where these guys can well and truly handle themselves. But the media, of course, wants to send the message that the president can't be trusted because, as you know and I know, they are all in on getting Biden over the line and not asking any questions about what has been going on here. And to give that point a little more data for you, in 51 hours of free-to-air network television news coverage in the United States, a research group has worked out that the free-to-air network, which is politically run by the bloke who used to work for Bill Clinton, that's George Stephanopoulos, they have not mentioned the Biden story once. In 51 hours of news coverage, NBC only had 5 minutes of time to talk about it. CBS only had 9 minutes to talk about it. Now, in part, the way that the media have justified not talking about a story that is red hot and meets the standard of every bit of bullshit that they have run against Donald Trump is that this is apparently Russian misinformation. Put simply, the computer wasn't Hunter Biden's. The emails weren't real. The text messages weren't real. It's all some sort of a giant Russian operation. Well, if that's the case, why would Hunter Biden's lawyer approach the very place where his laptop was left by somebody to demand it back? If it's all bullshit, why hasn't the Biden campaign individually dealt with the accusations and said it's not true? Instead, no, they have tried to pretend that it's all a Russian misinformation operation, and that, of course, blows their candidate off wind, so we're going to stay on message. So in Queensland, they're willing to blow one side of politics off course. In the United States, they are not willing to blow their favoured side off the wind. Do you get what I'm talking about here? It happens all around the world.